Something else you said I thought was really interesting. You said that training in the gym can almost be one of the most unconscious things that you can do, which is kind of an interesting thing. But now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense because, like you said, you could just get out of your head and just be somewhere else and pump out that iron and get out that aggression. Right. And it looks like the solution. And you said even the fitness industry in general can be something that's very unconscious. I was wondering if you could explain that.
Sure. Well, most people when they train, are they thinking about what they're doing or are they just doing? Right? So I would suggest most people aren't thinking. They're just doing. They're acting on what they think is correct, right? And when someone walks into my life, the first thing I say is if you want to progress, you have to forget everything you think you know about exercise and start to think. And so that's really what it is most people put their hat over their eyes and their music in their ears, or they go back in and they do the same thing over and over and over again. The same crappy execution, the same exercises over and over. They have a routine, right? People like routine, it becomes easy. So your brain is burning less calories, your brain is less stress, is less mental growth. So that's what the unconscious thing is, right? In the fitness industry, and I say it's unconscious because most people are trying to numb the pain. We use exercise because there's anxiety, there's fear, there's self-resentment that exists, right? We don't love ourselves. So we're trying to go to the gym because it makes me feel better, right? Life is just this sum of, do I feel bad? What can make me feel better? Even if it's 1% better, it's still a positive sum. So if I eat sugar, it makes me feel better. I develop a habit around that. If I drink alcohol, it makes me feel better. I develop a habit around that. It's just this attempt to escape that little negative feeling that we have in our body. And so for some people, it's exercise, right? And kind of the part of my conversation now is people can do that without ever having to leave their home, right? Like, create your mind before the world creates it for you. It's something that I say all the time. And how do you do that, right? Well, you can do that during training. You can do that during meditation, right? You just have to okay, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And create those emotions, create those anchors in your mind. So I can develop any personality trait. I can develop any emotion that I want, happiness, joy, fulfillment, achievement, before I ever leave my house. And that way I show up to an interview with Brian Rose and I'm this person that I want to be rather than letting Brian Rose dictate the person I am. And that's just an example of the scenario, right? But I can show up as any person that I want. It can be confident or it can be insecure. It can be, well articulate, or it can be someone who's unable to access their speech. So you decide and then create that and make that the daily habit. And like anything, takes practice. The first time you sit down is going to be very difficult. But if you did it every day for 30 days and you consciously said, you meditated on this ability to create your mind, you can do it. And you'd be surprised with how fast your life will change.
But physical exercise, even if it's unconscious, is probably a better alternative than drugs and alcohol or some other behavior.
Of course, man. Yeah. But here's the problem, right? Everything you're doing, including the way we're sitting and speaking to each other, is being remembered in your brain. It's becoming a habit. It's becoming a trait. So if I'm exercising with this, I have to mentality, or I have to go to the gym, I don't want to go to the gym, and you're anchoring these negative emotions with the exercise. We're anchoring emotions with this room, right? So when I walk into the gym, what's my state? What's my cognitive state, my emotional state? And can I anchor this person that's very strong and very powerful, and I'm going to dominate this versus, I have to do this. Your brain remembers that, right? It's like walking into your parents' house. Are you the same person there as you are in your house, as you are in your job? I hope not. You're the same person with your 2 and 3-year-old as you are at work or you are in the gym? I hope not, right? And if you are, well, there's your problem. Start creating different anchors and different avatars in those different scenarios. If I'm walking to the gym and I'm the same person I am with my daughter at home, well, both of them are going to be a failure, right? I'm not going to be a great dad. I'm certainly not going to be successful in the gym. So I need to look at, okay, how do I create these avatars in my brain? And I'm literally becoming the superhero in each scenario, right? I want to become the romantic lover at home. I want to become the super dad at home. I want to become the beast in the gym. I want to become the great leader at work. And those things can't often overlap. And you have to be conscious of that, right? How do I create that before I walk into that scenario? And you literally create an anchor, right? I'm walking into my home, the jingling keys going into the door, right? Or my kids running to go, Daddy. Oh, how can I ever be upset or angry or emotional? And this is what people do, right? They walk in the house and they take their work home with them, or they walk in the gym, they take their work to the gym, or they take their family problems to the gym, and they don't succeed in anything, right? So you have to go, okay, take that 30 seconds to breathe. Right, every time I was competing for the last few years, I take 5 minutes before every workout, and I literally sat in my car and I created the person I needed to be inside. I didn't always want to go to the gym. I was tired as shit. I was hungry. I hadn't slept. I didn't want to go to the gym preparing for Olympia, but you sit there and you say, why am I doing this? Who do I need to become? And you go in there and you just own it, right? Because you're not a victim, right? that's the number one rule for me in life. Never be a victim. Take ownership for your body, take ownership for your words, for your finances, for your family, right? Whatever you value, you take ownership for that. And everything else doesn't matter. But what you value, and you take ownership for it.